All right, we are tuning in to Western BCA's 9-ball Scotch doubles. We have Frampton Jr. Palmer versus Jolly and Moore. Race to 5. I believe it's alternate break. Standard BCA rules. Rack for your opponent. And we are underway. Hope everyone's been enjoying the live streams. Thank you, EvoSports, for all you do. And all the sponsors for contributing to this wonderful tournament. And we are off. It looks like first break is a dry break. And Frampton will have a shot at the 1. Doesn't look like the 2 passes the 7, so one of the 2 is kind of going to be a tricky shot. May just play to get some shape and then play some sort of safety, but we're going to find out. Came across. I don't think Palmer has a straight shot at the 2. She might be kicking into the side rail, which in all reality puts the corner in play. So we're going to see if she can get that. She did. Maybe get a little love. Definitely made it weird. It might pass that cleanly. She's looking at it. Looks like the 3 passes the 5 this way, so. And no rail. See if she calls it on herself. Lawrence is asking, and no rail. All right, ball in hand for Frampton Palmer. Let's see if they can get some going here. Pretty good hit. Maybe got a little more than he wanted out of it. Palmer is very capable of cutting this in. A little tricky to kind of come off this way. Don't want to go too far. Maybe run into the 8 could be a good plan. Got a little long on it, but that's going to work. He may try to hold it on top. The angle to the 4. It's not too steep. He should be able to maybe just roll it out there for the 5. He's looking at putting a little stroke on it and kind of going past. And he's going to go up and down. That's good, perfectly fine. Got Palmer up over the 8 a little bit. No stranger to this. Says I'm just going to make the ball, and we'll deal with what we got from there. That wasn't very easy to get back, being elevated over a ball. You know, this is kind of a good shot if you can come off this way. You know, 6 ball over here. He should have that kind of stroke in him. You know, going the other way, you're going to put the hitting the 9 into play and possibly scratching. We'll see what he opts for. Put some draw on it. And got a little weird. 6 doesn't pass the 7. They may opt for some sort of safety play that kind of puts the 6 down here. I don't know if he's got the angle for that. Could also try to ride some cheese. It is 9 ball. Oh, he might be thinning the top of it and going past. All right. It's a good opportunity for Frampton Palmer to strike first. Good stroke. Gonna get a little close to the work, but that'll play. Frampton Jr. is tall. He can get on that. I like the draw. Yeah, I like the draw shot. Kind of just floated up there. The 9's sitting pretty good. You don't have to do too much. You have enough angle to kind of stun across and back out. You could even go forward with the cue ball. See what she opts for. The stun works. And he's got the option to just roll it into the side or play it up table. I'm going to the side here. Diamond table pockets. And they strike first. And apparently is rack for your opponent. Since the 9 is live on the break. All right, rack number 2. Frampton Jr. for the break. Pretty good pop. Got the 6 on the break and a shot at the 1. Let's see if Palmer can get him on the 2 ball here. Not too crazy to roll forward with a little bit of inside spin. Get back up on the 2. It's a touchy shot on these tables. They play a little bit quick. She's just going to run into it. And left him a little bit of a thin cut here on the side. He may opt to bank, which does make it a little more challenging to get on the 3. You know, the bank angle brings the cue ball this way. You could run into trouble here. Also, the cut angle does the same, has the same kind of issue. Players finding their groove early on in this match. Can be difficult in these kind of environments, but both seasoned players. Does off for the bank, and might get into some trouble. Looks like the edge is there. Maybe for the 3-5 combo. Palmer surveying. I think just roll this ball in. Hit it with a little power. It's going to get under the 9. That's obviously not ideal, but still at the table, still with the chance. The one rail kick is pretty self-explanatory. He's going for the 2 rails. Things could get weird. And things do get weird. You never know with this game, I tell you. They can 1 or 2 rail kick this ball. I kind of like the 2. Things can happen. And he gets a piece of it on the second bounce. Gets a rail. So good hit. Good hit, bad hit, we're going to call it. These are touchy little shots when you're not really warmed up quite yet. But you got to get that stroke going eventually. Well hit ball. It looks like it might combo. There might be enough room in there. Yeah, I think if you hit the 4 super thin, not even super thin, as long as you put a little draw on it and don't roll forward, I think you're going to be good. And sure enough, the combo was on. Frampton Jr. Palmer go up 2-0. All right, rack number 3. Made a few on the break. Not a great spread. Kind of a challenging shot on the 2 to the 3. Definitely some navigating to do here. Kind of looking at this shot. cue ball is going to run this way and maybe straight back out. Let's see what kind of stroke he's got. Going forward with it. He said, I'm just going to make this ball and we're going to be there. So, not a bad idea. And I'm with her. As soon as I can remove that template, that's the first thing I do after a break. So, it can definitely affect the rules. You don't want to be shooting over that thing, especially when every ball matters in a short race and 9-ball. Let's see, she has a look at the 3, no real open pocket. Looks like safety play and not bad. Gets a pretty good judgment of speed on it. And I guess the order resets every rack. Not exactly sure. All right, he's going one rail and straighten it up a little bit. And that safety is working out for now. Now the 4-ball is tied up, but the 8, they may be trying to figure out some sort of either a 2-way shot or a 3 foul, which is also a way to win a rack. So we'll see. Not the easiest thing to do, but it happens. Looks like they're playing the safety. And it's going to roll up right by the side, so that is definitely kickable. It's a little close for the jump, but not impossible. Palmer's going to assess the situation here. It's like one rail with some spin. One rail straight off the side rail. I kind of like that option. The scratch is a risk, but you don't want to get 3 fouled. And good try. So now they got a ball sitting there with 4-ball is still tough. Let's see if they try to get another foul and finish this rack in that particular fashion. Pretty sure there's no coaching while the players are at the table, so any talking they have to do in between innings. And player is assessing the tangent line, maybe coming off this way. That's risky. Looks like coming off the 3, a little bit of draw into those balls. And played a little safe. That left it pretty thin on the 4, actually. That's not an easy shot. It looks like he can hit the side of it. The 4 is going to trickle over this way. The cue ball is going to go, something to this effect. So you get the speed right, that's going to be a pretty tough shot to execute and recover from. And that's pretty good. They are on 2. But looks like the 2-rail kick is on. Coming this way. That's their best opportunity. I don't like going in the other way. And I'm assuming they told them they're on 2. But since I can't hear, I really don't know. Yeah, I don't like that way as much. You got the kick and stick potential coming in this way. Either way, you're fighting off a 3 foul, and but it is also, Frampton Palmer break after this. So good hit. Resets the fouls. And left him tree-topped over a ball shooting long. Nothing really tied up. I mean, the 7 only goes over this way, so 5 to the 7 is kind of the key. And shooting jacked up over this ball is the key, so. Nice try to 3 foul and good recovery. Not always easy to execute. Pretty sure it's cue ball fouls only, unless you move 2 or more balls. And the 9 ball did get moved, and that is a foul. It's ball in hand. Yep. Definitely ball in hand. Her hand moved the 9, and then the 4 hit the 9. That's very standard 9-ball rule. That's ball in hand. Good call, ref. Let's see if they can go up 3-0 after a lot of back and forth here. Nice shot on the side. Pretty good angle. You can get a stop shot here for the 7. Looks like a little bit. Shouldn't be too crazy to just kind of stop or even roll it in there and hold for the 7. Exactly. Leave a little underneath angle just to kind of stun out, cue ball in this neighborhood. Don't want to go too tall because you don't want to have to go back and forth for the 9. She may come off the side rail and back. Getting comfortable. Yep, a little stun will do it. Stun and done. It's always good to have a ref watch, but that was not a circumstance where you had to have someone watch the shot. So, And Frampton Palmer go up 3-0 after some back and forths. Good try, guys, on that 3 foul. Not easy. Hope everyone's enjoying watching these live streams coming out of Lincoln City, Oregon, the Western BCA 9-ball championships. A lot goes into doing these, and the players do appreciate all of the hard work. Thank a league operator today. And we are at rack number 4. Frampton Jr. with the break. Makes the 8. Not a super difficult cut here on the 1, but getting back to the 2 could be a little bit of a challenge. You know, if you could run up this way and back, that's a very, very doable shot, judge of speed. Came in a little hot. And it's going to get a little bit of love. Looks like left the edge of the 1, but not a makeable edge. It's really too thin to kind of cut this way. And I don't believe the bank angle is on. We'll see what they opt for. All right, here we go. Maybe a 1-6 kind of thing. That looked like the intention. And we're going to have a pretty good shot at the 1 here. Come off the rail and back out for the 2. Tables play pretty quick. So, you know, it makes these shots fairly touchy, which I enjoy for 7-footers. And came straight across, put a little heat on it, and ends up with a scratch. All right, looking like 2 to the 4. Kind of roll out for the 4 on the side. You want to make sure you're at least straight in on it. You don't want to have to go this way with your cue ball after the 4 ball. You also don't want to roll past your shape. And she did leave him that tough angle. Not sure of his prowess. You could also draw this way. Or this shot is on if you know how to thin. Looks like he's going to dig into it a little bit. And just 1 rail that way works. I like that. Shot on the side. Has the cue ball kind of running this way. And good speed. Overran it just a little bit. And when you're that close to the ball, a little is a lot. And I hope players brought their own bridges. All right, looking like he's going to try to cut this. They need to get on the board here. That's a stretch, unless you shoot lefty or have a bridge. Okay, he's going to play some sort of maybe 2 or 3 real safe. Good effort. Didn't quite get the safe. Edge of the ball is showing. See if Palmer opts to try to play another safety or pocket that ball. She does tend to be on the aggressive side, which I enjoy. But when you're playing Scotch, you kind of have to think a little more safety-minded. We'll see. We'll see what her approach is here. Looks like she went for the shot, ends up getting a scratch. A little unlucky there. See if they can navigate these 3 balls and get on the board. Yeah, I like to maybe cue ball here, kind of run this way with my shape. Looks like there may have been some coaching words there. Makes the 6. Not the easiest shot on the 7 or a combo. The combo angle pushes this way. The cut is really thin this way. Being on the rail kind of also limits what you can do. So we'll see what he chooses. It's like he's digging in for some sort of combo here. And that's what happened. And 50-yard line to 7. And we have Frampton Jr. up here. Let's see what he chooses. That's a really thin cut or a fairly okay bank. I think the safety is even more difficult, but just one rail in the 7 down to this rail is not the easiest from right there. Looks like he's going for the bank. And it's gonna be a somewhat thin cut. All right. Speeds everything here. Gets a good shot out and leaves her opponent not a bad shot at the 9. And Jolly Moore is on the board, trailing 3-1, and they're breaking. All right, race to 5, 3-1. And almost gets the 9, but unfortunately dry break. And I believe you can see the 1, at least the top of the 1 here. That would be nice. A little quick 1-9 and put him on the hill. And he just opts to make the 9. Maybe he couldn't see the 1. And pretty sure that was a push out, so incoming team will have the option. It's a pretty good chance to kind of just roll that 1 ball forward and tuck him behind the 2. I'm not sure if she's how savvy she is at these safeties. She opted to kind of just marry the 1 and 2. It doesn't look like either of them want to go. Palmer can just come off the side of that 1 and bring the cue ball down table. Got a little more out of it, but left it weird. Probably want a little thinner hit. And the 1-2 combo was on. Wasn't that weird, apparently. 1 to the 3. Yeah, back out here somewhere. like 4 to the 5 might be shot of the rack. Pretty good speed, little bounce. Gonna leave your opponent kind of just a stop shot angle. You can choose to go forward or roll it back a little. It's really about where you want to go from 4 to the 5 on this. It's a pretty good angle. She may be able to draw straight back. Obviously being careful with the scratch. Not sure exactly the angle she has, but side pockets. You can do a little bit of cheating the pocket. Looks like she's hitting a little high ball, maybe come off the top rail and out here. Oh, she's going underneath it, and that worked out. If he doesn't like this cut up the rail, he may be opting to play a little safe. Which he does. And maybe left to the side of that ball. We'll be able to tell here in just a minute by how he looks at it. Waiting for a table to clear on the next to him. And I think he's got a piece of it. Yes, he does. I don't know how much he has. We're about to find out. And he had enough to make it. Good shot. Opens up the 6. And Palmer's going to need a bridge here. Looks like a go forward. Maybe you'll just come up this way and back. That's probably your best shot, and then as opposed to trying to put a bunch of spin on it. It's a little tricky with being that close. Yeah, you can also roll forward. With that angle, I think your cue ball pushes this direction. You really don't want a tough cut on the 7. Let's see what she chooses here. And she did choose for the roll forward instead of trying to come too much. I can appreciate that. Looks like it might pass the 8. Otherwise, he's going to try to roll it in the side, which is pretty steep. But they want to get on the hill here, so got to weigh your options carefully. And played all the way down and rattled the 7. Kept the angle in the 8, but you got to do first things first. see who she opts for here. Rolls it in and gets weird. Her partner is going to have to come up with some sort of safety. The elevated bank is on, but very sketchy, and I would have a ref watch the hit. I have seen him play a few kind of safety shots. You know, if you can do a little bump and leave the 8 down this way and the cue ball this way, that might be a good plan. Easier said. That's what he tried for, and you know, the pace was a little bit fast, otherwise it was a good effort. Palmer to the table. Is she thinking straight back bank? And left a tough cut on the 8. That's pretty good. I don't think she wanted that much out of it. Probably more, you know, on this side. Could have dangerously left it right in front of the pocket. Not an easy cut on the 8. Although she made some pretty challenging cuts here earlier, so I'm guessing she's capable, but we'll see if she plays the odds. Does get a good shot. Leaves 9 on the 50-yard line. Looks like it's more, I guess this way is kind of the better shot. Cue ball kind of this way, and safe down there if anything should happen. And he overcuts it, hits the side point, and leaves a really easy shot for Frampton Jr. to put them on the hill. They really needed that one to get to 3-2. It's a very short race to be messing around, and here we go. Rack number 6. I believe it's Frampton Jr. Palmer break. And their opponents may have taken a break. That was a good cut on the 8. Left him a little tough on the 9. Nice try. Jolly Moore struggling to get their feet under him here. You know. Guys, be sure and like, share, and subscribe any way you can. Help support the stream. Tell your friends. All right. Rack number 6. Looking pretty good. Ball on the break. 1 ball is down. 2 balls kind of hiding. Incoming player does have the push out option. but I think the kick is really the shot. If you can play your pace just right, the safety should be there. Good speed. Gonna hide behind the 8. Nice shot, Palmer. I don't know if he plays jump shots. I feel like that is the best shot for right here. One rail kick is tough. You're gonna might hit the 3. Shooting this way into this rail is tough, judging that speed. And looks like we're going over the top, folks. So fly by. Good things could happen here, with a good hit. Also, there's always a chance of going off the table. And sky bridging. Let's go. Gets a good hit. Gets a little roll on the 9. 2 ball kind of comes down for a look. Looking at this, that might be wired. 3-8-9 combo. But got bigger things to think about with looking at this difficult 2 ball from here. And he winds up and gets married to his work. Looks like there may be a ½ inch or so in between. Let's see what Palmer chooses. You could just thin off that ball and just leave it on the bottom rail. It might even push it behind the 8. You could thin off this way, as long as you don't push the 3. Oh, she may be trying to make this ball. She was. It's a good shot. And leaves her partner a shot at the next ball. Don't know if he has this angle with how close the 7 is. He's looking at it. Checking out the lay of the land. We're going to find out, folks. And he gets it. And that's for the set. Nice round. Good playing, guys.